Whether you're on a date, maybe a kid's birthday party, or a fun Friday night, it feels like all of us have been to a bowling alley before. Every bowling alley, even if you have more than one in town, has its own unique character to it. Usually that character comes in the form of a crazy carpet or a weird smell. So in this video, let me, Jeff, take you on a tour all across the country to different bowling alleys and read some funny and wild 1-star Google reviews. So if you like this idea, make sure you leave a like and let's just get into it. Quick shout out to Jeff Fan, AIKI, Steven0616 for this idea. If you want your idea featured in a video and a quick shout out, make sure you leave a comment down below. Alright, now into the reviews. Our first stop on this bowling trip is in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho at Sunset Bowling. This fairly dated looking bowling center has a 3.2 rating on 112 reviews. Coeur d'Alene has a population of 54,628. The city Coeur d'Alene is French for Heart of an Owl, which is named after the native people who lived here. So with all of that in mind, let's go read some bowling alley reviews. We'll kick off Sunset Bowling with Darcy. Booked a party of 4 lanes for a kid's B-Day party. We get there and they tell us that we will have to leave a half an hour early because they had leagues. So they would rather ruin a children's B-Day party than make their dumb league wait? Fully disgusted. Unfortunately, Darcy, they would rather ruin a child's B-Day party than make their league wait. League makes them a lot more money than little Charlie's B-Day party. The next review is fresh off the press and it's from Tyler. Wow. I had to edit my 4-star review. Sunset Bowling Alley has lost our loyalty, thanks to Destiny, their Sunday night bartender. My friends and I, all in our mid-later 20s, have been regulars for years enjoying bi-weekly bowling nights. Last night, 3/9/25, Destiny inspected our IDs with oddly hostile skepticism, declaring they looked fake, despite their obvious authenticity. As she was serving us, she muttered weird sentences like, "I don't know, you guys are super sus. Everyone is watching me serve you now." She would continue making remarks like this as if she was reluctantly serving minors. Her rude, incompetent demeanor transformed a routine evening into an ordeal. We deserve better than a bartender who treats loyal patrons like unwelcome intruders. I'm not sure if Idaho has multiple different types of IDs that would confuse the bartender, like vertical and horizontal IDs. I'm not too sure, but this just seems very strange to me, and that would kind of ruin your night if the bartender was accusing you of being underage. It's just kind of throws the whole vibe off, man. Let's see what happened to Marshall. I've been there before, it's good. Although, last night they closed the food court, so we went to Zips. Right. Before they closed. Then, as we were picking a lane, the guy at the counter rudely interrupted my friend and his GF to tell them I can't have outside food. But your food court's closed? Wow! So we just left anyway. Guess they lost a sale by doing that. We would have cleaned up after ourselves. These are the type of reviews I love. He probably broke a rule that maybe even is on a sign on the door, no outside food or drink, brought in the food and then got upset the guy interrupted his friend and girlfriend. He probably was just like, "Hey man, can't have your zips in here, sorry." And Marshall's like, "That's it. 1-star review." Ooh, this review is still fresh and hot from the oven, and it's from Addie. My friend and I didn't have money to bowl ourselves, but our friends we were with did, so we figured we would just sit and watch them instead. However, after sitting for about 5 minutes, we were both asked to leave by security. He wasn't even being polite about it either. If this is the type of facility where you can't even sit with your party without paying, then I highly recommend, to all people thinking of bowling here, to reconsider. Now this one feels very, very strange to me. Unless you're down in the bowling area not wearing bowling shoes, shouldn't you be allowed to sit up and watch people bowl? I mean, you can go to a bowling alley to have drinks and eat stuff and not bowl. This one's highly confusing. The next review is from Solo. You don't think, could it be? Woman answered the phone and she was completely inconvenienced when asked any questions about being booked for a certain day. Then I explained I couldn't find anything online and she laughed at me and said they didn't post stuff like that. Guess they didn't want a party of many lanes coming at all because now we'll go elsewhere to avoid her rude attitude. It's a shame. Always came here for the last 20 years and I guess here's our sign to move on and support a different business. This is one of those reviews where I wish there was like a little button to press where it would play like the audio from their phone call, because I wanted to hear how rude the person actually was, or was it just like a strange social interaction? I don't know. But my body craves the answer. Another fresh review from Sunset. Well, at least the time I found it. It could be moldy by now, but it comes from Ryan. Vending machine for drinks eats quarters, does not return them. Only gives out alcoholic drinks after 9 p.m. If you want water or soda, you have to get it from vending machine. Oh wow, that's crazy. So this bowling alley has a possessed vending machine that eats quarters? Well, that's terrible. No non-alcoholic drinks after 9 p.m. What are they trying to do, cause DUIs? This is nuts. Let's go to the next bowling alley. The next bowling alley we're going to visit is in Livingston, Texas, and it's the Triple J Lanes. This giant shed-looking bowling alley off the highway has a 4.6 rating on 430 reviews. A bit on the smaller side, Livingston's population is only 5,640 people. Your little wet and wild Livingston fun fact is that it is located near Lake Livingston, which is the largest freshwater drinking reservoir in Texas, and Texas is huge. So let's go read some reviews. First up for Triple J Lanes is Casey. Khaled ahead said they would be open to public till 9 on Sunday. Drive all the way over there for them to say, oh, you have to be off the lanes at 5. We have a tournament tonight. We got there at 4. Never going to the sorry establishment again. This is the 2-3rd time this has happened. Done! So it's happened 2 or 3 times. You know what they say about being fooled more than once.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. It fooled me, we can't get fooled again.
That dumb clip could work for almost any video. But let's see what happened to Steve. They allow old guys in their late 30s, maybe early 40s, to get drunk and try to fight underage kids in the parking lot. Then serve the guy more drinks and keep bowling. While the underage kids feel unsafe and forced to leave makes no sense. Thought it's supposed to be a safe place for kids to stay out of trouble, but I guess we are wrong. I really hope that Steve also contacted the local authorities about this, because a 1-star Google review is not going to stop people from fighting. Hey, you guys out there, you gotta stop fighting. A guy left a 1-star review about you fighting those kids out there. You gotta stop. The next review comes from Christy. Turn away families at 4:30 p.m. for leagues bowlers. Funny thing is, there was no one there. Must not need business. Oh, no. Man, that is a funny one. Thank you for that, Christy. I'm sure they were just trying to get people out of there before the league started, but you never know. Maybe they do hate money. The next review for this Texas bowling alley comes from J-Man, which may or may not have been a nickname of mine in high school. It wasn't. I try to go bowling with my friends. I can never go because there are always leagues or tournaments every day. I thought this was supposed to be a local bowling alley. After several attempts, I'm done. It's sad to turn away your local people who just want to bowl after work, or take their friends or even kids to bowl and have fun. I hope that J-Man knows there are local people in those leagues and tournaments, and also those leagues and tournaments make a lot more money for the bowling alley than just the random people off the street with their kids, and also they can sell a lot more alcohol to adults than they can kids. Alright, let's go to the next bowling alley. Hey there. Jeff, you're real quick. Just want to make sure you leave a like and subscribe, because most of my viewers are not subscribed. Alright, let's get back into the video. Our next stop takes us to Florence, South Carolina, to the Southgate Bowling Center. With a bit of a worn out look to it, this place has a 3.8 rating on 677 reviews. The city of Florence has a population of 39,899 bowlers. Your fast fun fact about Florence is that Mark Wahlberg is from here, not the TV actor, the TV host, most famous for The Moment of Truth.
Question 14. Do you believe you might have been in love with a former boyfriend on your wedding day? Oh, man.
So with all of that in mind, let's go read some bowling reviews. First up for this Florida bowling alley is Charlie. Lane's drier than a popcorn fart. I and my dad are experienced bowlers. Dad was semi-pro years ago, and I have never seen him struggle bowling. My dad, a 200 average bowler, and myself, a 160 average, barely breaking 100 in all 3 games we played. We asked about getting another lane, and they said the lanes were oiled yesterday. I went and whipped my finger on the lanes and pulled up a dust ball. My dad uses urethane balls from the 70s and 80s, and they were hooking as soon as the ball landed on the lane and into the gutters. My balls, a more modern ball, Brunswick twist, low flare / hook, hooked so much it went into the gutter 10 feet before reaching the pins. So dry and not fun for competing, but we had a good laugh making sure the 7-pin never remained. Inside looks to have never had an update since the 70s. Box TVs for keeping score and ball return covers busted and the keypads held together with duct tape. All the money made by the owners must go into their pockets as the alley crumbles. That's a review I like, one that paints a really nice picture of what the bowling alley is like. The lanes are really dry, so the ball just hooks right away, it doesn't slide down the lane at all, and it's really outdated. It probably smells like an old bowling alley too. Let's keep reading. Let's see what sort of experience Michael had. This place is way overpriced. Food, drinks, and the bowling itself. Seriously, $9 for a pitcher of soda with no refills? The lanes break half the time, so if you're going to pay for 2 hours of bowling, you probably get to play for about an hour. The ball return also is dangerously fast. Someone can get seriously hurt by it, especially kids trying to grab their ball if another ball comes through. I would not advise anybody to waste their money here. I know I definitely will not return. I want to know more about this dangerous ball return. That sounds really fun. Next up for the Southgate Bowling Center is Alexis. Was fussed at. Over the intercom for vaping inside. Was fussed at. Again, a second time for dropping the ball on the wood platform. Was fussed at. A third time for having more than one person on the bowling lane to help with special needs family member bowling. The whole family left before the game was over. The first 2 things I can understand being talked to about, you definitely can't vape inside, and I wonder if it was more than one ball got dropped on the ground. I'm not too sure about that, and that third thing being yelled at about doesn't seem right, but did you tell them it was someone with special needs that you might need more than one person? There's a lot of questions up in the air, and I'm really getting fussy over it. Let's see what happened to Abigail. Loved going up until tonight. An older man that worked here kept talking to me and my friends, 2 girls, 1 boy, throughout our games and making some crude adult level jokes. Did not feel the best about the situation and would love to have this environment become truly a place for family and friends to enjoy time together without staff trying to take part of the fun, even with crude conversation they think is age appropriate. Breaking news. People go to bowling alleys to bowl, not to listen to the terrible comedy by the people that work there. How crazy does this bowling alley get for Cassie? Let's find out. If I could give this place a 0 star, I would. I am very upset with this bowling alley because last night on 8/25/2022, 3 trucks, as we know of, were broken into, and when we asked to see the cameras, they said, "Our cameras don't work," which is bull. I wouldn't take anybody here knowing that it is an unsafe area already and that this place doesn't even have cameras that work. How are you going to say that you care about the people when you have no cameras working? Might I add, they knew more break-ins happened a couple months ago, and knowing that information, they still don't have cameras that work. Seems fishy to me that all these places hit last night, including this bowling alley, all of them say, "Our cameras don't work." Alright, this is where I need your guys' help. Do you think the bowling alley is in on all these car break-ins, or do you think they're just that incompetent? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below, and while you're doing that, let's go to the next bowling alley. Our next stop takes us to corn country, to Fort Dodge, Iowa, to the Family Bowling Center. These lanes are located in another very worn out looking building that you can also rent U-Hauls from. I don't know what's going on here, but it has a 4.3 rating on 190 reviews. Originally named Fort Clark, but there's another Fort Clark in Texas. It was named Fort Dodge after Henry Dodge, who was the governor of the Wisconsin Territory, which also included Iowa until Iowa became a state in 1846. The more you know. And with all this knowledge, let's go read some bowling reviews. We'll get the Family Bowling Center started with Doodud. Reeks. It smells like cigarettes and bleach. It's crazy to me that you haven't been able to smoke inside for years in America, yet some places still have that cigarette smoke. It must just be like caked in the paint or something. The next review comes from Matthew. Close 2 hours before closing time. No note.
Bed's empty, no note.
Not cool. If I went somewhere that was closed unexpectedly and outside its normal hours with no note, I would just move on with my life like we are to the next review. With that smooth transition out of the way, let's go to the next Iowa review from Shelby. We arrived early with originally a group of 8 and some people joined later. The bartender threatened to cut up our actual government IDs and told us if we didn't leave a tab open, we were only allowed to have the one drink the rest of the night. None of the staff used appropriate pours or measured. Our drinks were completely burnt. She accused our friend of going to the bathroom to do shooters after he used it once. She stayed uncomfortably close to us the entire night, not allowing us to have any fun. The other staff seemed really uncomfortable after we didn't receive food we ordered and asked for a refund, sneaking it to us so she wouldn't see. We only played 2 rounds and decided to leave. Safe to say this is not a place we will be returning to and would rather make the drive to Ames. This seems just so strange to me. Why would a bartender threaten to cut up IDs if people didn't leave a tab open and say they can only get 1 drink? Don't they want to make money? They get paid with tips, and why are they being all like snooty and stuff? I'm so confused. This is such a strange review. What do you think happened? I'm not sure about the Sunshine Band, but we do have a review from Casey. All I can say is the prices are nice. The man behind the counter put his mouth on the pouring spout of a bottle of liquor, then proceeded to pour it for a customer.
Be careful and watch how he makes your food and drinks.
Completely disgusted. Oh, wait, what? Why is he putting his mouth on the spout? Why does that make it any easier to pour? Is it that dirty? What is going on? Oh, yeah. Let's go to the next bowling alley. Let's pack our bags and head out west on a vacation to Simi Valley, California, to Harley's Valley Bowl. This Pueblo-style bowling alley has a 4.6 rating on 729 reviews. Simi Valley is located just 40 miles from downtown Los Angeles, and it has a population of 126,356 people. Because of its close proximity to Hollywood, a lot of movies are filmed here, including the 2022 film Everything Everywhere All at Once, which was actually set in Simi Valley, and multiple scenes were filmed in the city itself. And I like that movie. So with all of that in mind, let's go read some bowling reviews. We'll kick off Harley's with Alan. Lane was slippery and one person fell. Chrome floor strips and screws were slightly raised and causing some to trip. Instead of moving us, they wiped floor and condition of lane not much better. Spent rest of game walking up to foul line bowling. Wasn't fun experience. But reading that review sure was an experience. I hope the person that fell was okay. It sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen. Where's Lucky when you need him?
I went to the Costco to buy a new one, slipped on PP, got my settlement monies, and the rest is history.
I love King of the Hill, and RIP to Tom Petty. But let's go see what happened to RC. Today, I decided to bowl with a friend. She showed up, then had car issues. I was approached by a security guard who was very sloppily dressed. At first, I thought he was homeless. He asked my business and other questions that weren't appropriate. I told him I'm a combat veteran from the Iraq War, and this is a free country.
People beware.
If you're new to this town, it seems only locals are welcome. God bless America, and Simi Valley, we are Americans, and we should be free to explore. This is one of those reviews I wish we had security cameras for. I want to see this sloppily dressed security guard, or was it just a guy wearing like a high-vis security shirt? Let's see what happened at Harley's for Veronica, the so-called
manager
/ cook treated our family with so much disrespect and attitude. Half our pizza came burnt and different to bite into, so we asked them to make softer ones, and she said that the pizza was fine, and this is the first time someone has complained. After waiting the 20 minutes for the slices, she told us 5 more. Then after 5, she went back to the kitchen to hide and avoided talking to us anymore. Her other employees came to talk to us and told her to stay in the back. Terrible service. A good manager would have handled the whole situation with no attitude and back talk. There's something about asking for a softer pizza that just kind of makes me laugh, and that every bite was different to bite into. What does that mean, Veronica? Henry's review is still pretty fresh, so how did Harley's go for him? Pizza took 30 minutes for a slice. On 3 customers in the entire place. Soda and iced tea had a weird taste to them, like something wasn't cleaned properly, and tasted almost like a weird alcohol taste. Pizza was semi-burnt burnt and didn't have much taste. Which is strange cuz every time I have the pop-up pizza at the fair or festivals, it's incredibly delicious. I know it's Sunday, but the crap attitude we got from the bartender when we walked in was almost enough to make me walk back out. Super uncomfortable ordering. Felt like I was bothering her. Makes me wonder if that's why the soda and iced tea tasted funny, since I'm sure the tea didn't come from the same machine as the soda.
I do pizza reviews all over the country, but I would never, ever recommend this place to a single person.
Didn't finish our food and felt dumb leaving a $20 tip on a $32 meal.
Do better.
Why do you guys think the soda and tea tasted weird? I actually think it's because they did come from the same machine and it's probably just dirty, but Henry seems to think there's a conspiracy out for him. But he does pizza reviews all over the country, so he might know better than me. The next California IA review comes from Vedas. Kitchen is awful. No one cares about customers. To prepare chicken nuggets, they need 45 minutes. Owner should take actions and think about kitchen team. Those better be the best, gourmet, most delicious chicken nuggets ever if it takes 45 minutes, because I think most chicken nuggets you could probably just throw them in the microwave for like 3-4 minutes and they're good, or throw them in the oven for like 12 minutes and they're good, so something's a little bit fishy here. It's time to head back out east and go to Hixson, Tennessee to Spare Time. This street view from February of 2025 makes it look like Spare Time maybe had a facelift recently, and it has a 4.3 rating on 806 reviews. That's a lot of reviews. Hixson used to be an unincorporated community, but is now part of the city of Chattanooga. Its population is 14,216 people. The name Hixson comes from pioneers John and Ellendar Hixson, who settled around the area in 1821. Unfortunately, that's really the only fun fact I could find. And it's pretty fun, so let's go read some reviews. Up first for Spare Time is Jackie. We went here tonight for Cosmic Bowling, 2 hours, 1 lane, 7 people for $154. The black lights were out, and when we told them they had no more.
Cosmic bowling with no black lights.
The lane kept messing up our scores. The guy at the snack bar tried to cheat my 11-year-old niece out of some money. I feel like if the black lights wear out and not working, you should not pay full price. Also, the music could barely be heard. The bar music was louder. This place really needs improvements. I feel like the black lights being out for Cosmic Bowling kind of defeats the purpose of Cosmic Bowling. Now you're just bowling either in a really dark bowling alley or it's really bright in there for 11 o'clock at night, and both of them don't sound too much fun, especially if the music is barely heard. The next Tennessee review comes from Christian. Came here with my family last weekend and had the worst time. The balls kept getting stuck behind the pins while we used them and took a very long time to return. We only had an hour to play and almost half of that time was used waiting for balls to return, even after grabbing more to use, not to mention the computer glitching and freezing while bowling. When I told management about the issue, they said,
"Yeah, we know. Just keep throwing them and hopefully it'll come back,"
and stared at me. When I asked them if there was a way we could fix it or switch lanes, they said there's nothing they can do about it. Very disappointed in this experience. Won't be coming back anytime soon. That does sound like the worst time, and went so bad for Christian he invented a new word for his disappointment. Let's see how Spare Time treated Steve. Older gent at rental desk tells me,
"Be with you in a sec."
Then took a work-related call, personal call, chatted with a guy in pro shop, chatted with another couple, then went to make a sandwich. When confronted, I was told,
"On, I forgot about you."
Needless to say, we left. I love this review. I'm guessing the older gent just forgot about these people on accident, but it does sound like a personal attack when he goes and makes a sandwich. It sounds kind of diabolical, doesn't it? The next review comes from Zach. Terrible experience and service. My son and I paid $14 for one game. The lane kept breaking down and wouldn't reset. We could not bowl more than 2 throws at a time. No one answering the call button. In the 5 frames, I had to go to the front desk 4 different times to get it to reset. When asked for a refund after giving up on the 4th attempt, they would only pay back $2 as we already had played. Needless to say, we won't be back. Back-to-back reviews with the needless to say in it. That's pretty neat. The worst thing that happens in bowling is when your lane breaks and you have to go up there and stop what you're doing. It kills the flow, kills everything for it. So I can understand being frustrated, especially breaking down 3 or 4 times, and then when you ask for a refund, you get told no because you already played. That can't be considered playing. The next Tennessee review comes from Jimmy. $50 for 2 games plus $60 for 3 orders of chicken strips and soft drinks. The lane computer glitched multiple times and every piece of chicken had gristle.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Needless to say, this bowling alley does sound a bit terrible. But let's head to the next one. We're going to head up north to New York State to Fort Drum and visit the Pine Plains Bowling Center. Sadly, since Fort Drum is a U.S. military reservation, there are no street views of this bowling center. But the inside picture makes it look pretty nice, and it has a 4.2 rating on 164 reviews. Speaking of the military, Fort Drum is the home to the 10th Mountain Division, and this area can be very helpful for training because the temperatures can reach as low as -30 Fahrenheit or -34 degrees Celsius. So with all of that in mind, let's go read some bowling reviews. We'll get Pine Plains Bowling Center started with Angelique. This is a rare 2-star review, but it does read like a 1-star. I think Angelique was just too nice. It used to be pretty fun before they changed the hours and became understaffed. After COVID, it pretty much went downhill from there. The food is not great. They don't have everything on the menu. Only pizza and nachos, which is just chips with a side of white cheese. Bowling is okay. Our lane broke down twice, and so did others. They either kicked you off the lane for the night or they moved you. People who came over for help, the man working the front seemed annoyed. So all in all, the menu only has 2 items, the lanes break down, you can't finish a game you paid for if you're kicked off in the middle of one. After reading that review, are you confused why it's a 2-star? Maybe the parking's really great. Back to the 1-star territory with Brittany. Me and my husband and our 2 friends came to bowl on New Year's Eve. To bowl for an hour and a half, and at 8:50 we got told it is an hour to an hour and a half to wait. That was okay. So when we came back, we got told that we would still have to pay the $60 and we'll only get to bowl for 15 minutes, which makes no sense. Because if we bowl at 10:40, we could have bowled for an hour and 20 minutes. So we decided not to bowl and to just get food. We calculated the price, and for some reason we are having to pay double than what we should have paid. The cashier couldn't even give us a receipt, so we couldn't see the price. We ordered food here before 10:35 and have been waiting for over 30 minutes. Oh man, if I had $1 for every time I had to having to pay extra for something without noticing, man, I'd have $1. I don't even know what the hell is going on in this review. It's Billy. Billy from New York. Let's see what he had to say. 9 p.m. closing time.
GTFO.
Here, most PPL don't get off work a few hours prior to that. It was a great place to bowl, but not anymore. 9 p.m. does seem a little bit early for a bowling alley, don't you guys think? Let's see how the Pine Plains Bowling Center treated Deborah.
It's okay.
2 times we went there, the wait was more than 30 minutes. Today it's hot, there is no AC, it's uncomfortable to be here and bowl. Well, Deborah really packed a lot of information into that one long run-on sentence, so thank you for that, Deborah. And thank you for watching because you've made it to the end of my video. If you've made it this far, please leave a like if you haven't, subscribe for more, and check out this video on screen because YouTube thinks you'll like it, and I like you. Until next time, goodbye!